Are you over 60 and do you sometimes feel like your legs are heavier than they used to be? That climbing stairs feels different? That carrying bags has gotten harder? I need to tell you something that most doctors never mention in their offices. This isn't just part of getting older. There's a silent process happening inside your body. It has a name, it has a solution, and the most surprising part, the solution may be right in your kitchen. Today I'm going to show you 8 grains with real scientific evidence that directly combat muscle loss in people over 60. Some you already know, others you've probably never heard of, and they can completely transform your energy, strength, and independence. Stay tuned until the end, because number 1 has a preparation detail that most people ignore, and that can make all the difference between the grain helping you or harming you. Sarcopenia, the progressive loss of muscle mass with age, affects more than 50% of people over 70, according to data published in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia and Muscle. And the problem starts even earlier. Starting at age 50, the body already loses 1% to 2% of muscle mass per year if nothing is done. What the latest science has discovered is that the signal that tells your muscles to grow and repair themselves depends directly on what you eat. Not on expensive supplements, not on gym routines your knees can't handle anymore. It depends on specific amino acids, natural anti-inflammatory compounds, and fiber that only certain foods deliver in the right form. And these 8 grains are exactly that. Let's get started. Buckwheat. The name sounds complicated, but the story is simple. Technically, it isn't wheat, it's a seed. And that makes all the difference, because it's naturally gluten-free and much richer in protein than most conventional grains. What makes it special for those over 60 is the presence of the 9 essential amino acids, including lysine and leucine, the 2 main ones responsible for stimulating muscle fiber regeneration. A study published in the journal Nutrients in 2020 showed that older adults who consumed buckwheat protein daily experienced significant muscle mass gain in 8 weeks, along with a marked improvement in recovery after light physical activity. In addition to protein, it is rich in magnesium, essential for muscle contraction, and in rutin, an antioxidant that improves circulation and ensures more oxygen reaches your muscles during movement. How to use it? Cook it as porridge for breakfast with cinnamon and banana, or use the flour to make pancakes. It can be lightly toasted in a skillet to accompany soups and stews. Oats are probably the best known on the list, but I bet you didn't know the real reason why they're so powerful for your muscles. It's not just the fiber, it's a compound called avenantramide. Amaranth was considered sacred by the ancient peoples of the Americas, and modern science is discovering that they had good reason to do so. This small, gluten-free grain provides complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids, but what sets it apart are 2 rare compounds. The first are bioactive peptides, which interact directly with muscle fibers to signal growth and reduce cellular inflammation. The second is squalene, a powerful antioxidant found in olive oil and some marine species, but present in significant amounts in amaranth. It protects muscles from oxidative damage caused by aging. A clinical study published in Nutrients in 2020 showed that older adults who consumed amaranth for 6 weeks increased their muscle strength by 26%, improved their balance, and reported fewer leg cramps. How to use it? Cook it like rice or make a warm porridge with cinnamon and banana. It can also be popped, just like popcorn, for a protein-rich snack. It has a mild, nutty flavor that pairs well with both sweet and savory dishes. Before I reveal number 1, I need to give you an important warning. There's a right way and a wrong way to prepare this grain. Prepared the wrong way, it can cause inflammation, intestinal discomfort, and even harm exactly what you're trying to rebuild. I'll explain exactly how to use it. Pay close attention. The champion of this list isn't exactly rice. Wild rice is technically an aquatic plant, and may be the most powerful food for rebuilding muscle after age 60 that exists in nature. What puts it at the top is its exceptionally high leucine content, the amino acid that triggers the process of muscle protein synthesis. As we age, muscles develop a kind of resistance to this stimulus. Even if you consume protein, the body doesn't receive the signal to rebuild. Wild rice overcomes this barrier. A clinical trial published in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia, and Muscle in 2021 showed that older adults who consumed wild rice 3 times a week increased their muscle protein synthesis rates by over 40%, improved their walking speed, and regained up to 1.6 kilograms of lean muscle mass without lifting a single weight. In addition to leucine, wild rice provides zinc, magnesium, phosphorus, and plant-based omega-3s, a rare combination that reduces inflammation, improves cellular energy production, and keeps joints functioning well. Now for the warning I promised. If you overcook wild rice or boil it for too long in salted water, the outer husk, where the antioxidants are, breaks down, and you lose what makes it special. The correct preparation. 1. Soak for at least 8 hours, preferably overnight. 2. Cook over low heat. 3. Avoid broths with high sodium content. 4. Pair with lentils and spinach to maximize the benefits. Prepared this way, it's one of the most effective foods you can put on your plate. If you've made it this far, you already have what you need to start transforming your diet. But before I tell you what's next, I want to ask you one thing. Write in the comments below which of these 8 grains you already use and which one you're going to start trying. I read all the comments and your response will help me create more content tailored exactly to your needs. So, to recap the 8 grains that combat sarcopenia and help rebuild your strength after age 60. 8. Buckwheat. Complete protein, anti-inflammatory, gluten-free. 7. Oats. Avenanthramides protects muscle mitochondria. 6. Millet. Leucine, magnesium, sustained energy. 5. Sorghum. Resistant starch, reverses muscle decline. 4. Quinoa. 9 amino acids, iron, reduces muscle pain. 3. Teff. Lysine, increases mitochondrial density by 30%. 2. Amaranth. Squalene, bioactive peptides, strength plus 26%. 1. Wild rice leads to high bioavailability leucine, protein synthesis plus 40%. You don't need to consume them all at once. Start with 2 or 3 that are easiest for you to find, and gradually incorporate the others over time. The secret is consistency. 1 meal a week already makes a difference. If this video helped you, hit the like button. It's the best way to let me know this kind of content is worth it. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because next week I'll reveal the 5 foods you probably eat every week that are accelerating muscle loss without you realizing it. One of them is considered healthy by most people and is probably in your fridge right now. See you in the next video, and remember, your strength hasn't gone anywhere, it just needs the right fuel. This antioxidant, found almost exclusively in oats, directly combats oxidative stress in muscle mitochondria, which are the powerhouses of your cells. As we age, these powerhouses deteriorate. Oats help preserve them. A 2016 study in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition showed up to a 25% improvement in muscle recovery in older adults who consumed whole oats daily. But there's an important detail: whole oats, not instant. The processed version loses much of its active compounds. How to use: half a cup of thick-cut rolled oats for breakfast with berries or banana. You can soak them overnight. They become softer and easier to digest. Millet is an ancient grain, consumed by African and Asian civilizations for millennia, and today almost forgotten on Brazilian shelves. A serious mistake for those over 60. What makes millet unique is its concentration of leucine, the amino acid that acts like a switch inside your muscle cells, activating the protein synthesis process. With age, this switch becomes increasingly difficult to activate. Millet helps to reactivate it. A clinical review published in Frontiers in Nutrition in 2022 found that millet-based diets improved lean body mass, reduced inflammatory markers, and increased walking speed in older adults within just 6 weeks. Plus, it's gluten-free, easy to digest, and has a low glycemic index, great for those managing blood sugar. How to use: cook it instead of white rice. It turns out fluffy, slightly sweet, and pairs very well with sautéed vegetables or stews. Sorghum may sound exotic, but it's one of the most widely consumed grains in the world, especially in regions where people live long, healthy lives. What sets it apart is a rare combination: resistant starch plus polyphenols plus muscle protective antioxidants. This trio does two things at once. It fuels the body with long-lasting energy and blocks the chronic inflammation that silently erodes muscle tissue over the years. A study published in Nutrients in 2021 showed that older adults who included sorghum in their daily diet improved their muscle performance markers by 28% and even reversed up to 2 years of strength decline without changing their exercise routine. Another important benefit: sorghum improves insulin sensitivity. And this matters for muscles because when insulin doesn't work properly, the body breaks down muscle tissue to get energy. How to use it? Cooked like rice, in cold salads with chickpeas and lemon dressing, or popped like popcorn for a healthy snack. Quinoa is already more famous than the previous ones, but most people don't know exactly why it's so valuable for muscles after age 60. Technically a seed, it's one of the only plant sources that offers complete protein, all 9 essential amino acids in a highly digestible form. But what's truly impressive is the combination of magnesium, iron, and phosphorus found in quinoa, a trio that works together to support muscle contraction, transport oxygen to muscle fibers, and accelerate recovery after any exertion. A clinical trial published in the British Journal of Nutrition in 2019 showed that 50 grams of cooked quinoa per day increased muscle protein synthesis rates by 15%, in addition to reducing muscle soreness by 20% after light exercise, a result that many expensive supplements fail to achieve. How to use? Rinse thoroughly before cooking to remove saponin, a natural bitter substance. Cook in vegetable broth for more flavor. Use as a base for salads, soups, or in place of rice. If you're enjoying this information, go ahead and give it a like now. It really helps reach more people who need this content. And if you have a family member over 60 who is experiencing weakness in their legs or getting tired quickly, share this video with them. It can make a real difference. Now, let's move on to the top 3 on the list, including number 1, which has a preparation detail you need to know before using it. We've reached the top 3, and it starts with a grain that most Brazilians have never heard of. Teff is a tiny grain, native to Ethiopia, but with a huge impact on the muscle health of those who are aging. What sets it apart is its exceptionally high lysine content, an amino acid critical for collagen formation, tissue repair, and muscle regeneration, which is absent in most other grains. But the most impressive finding comes from a study published in Clinical Nutrition in 2021. Older adults who consumed teff-based meals 3 times a week increased the mitochondrial density of their muscle cells by 30%. This means that muscle fibers began producing more energy, improving endurance, strength, and recovery, without any additional exercise. In addition, teff is rich in iron, essential for transporting oxygen to the muscles, and calcium, which strengthens not only bones but also the quality of muscle contractions. How to use? Hot porridge for breakfast with honey and fruit. Teff flour can be used to make bread and muffins. It has a slightly sweet and earthy flavor. It works well in both sweet and savory dishes.